Is Usain Bolt's world record finally in danger? Because right now, something insane is happening in the sprinting world. 47 men have already run under 10 seconds this season. 47! That is not just a good year, that is the deepest season in the history of the 100 meters, and we still have months left on the calendar. One sprinter this year even ran the third fastest 100 meters ever recorded under any conditions in history. Only one man on the planet has ever gone faster. So with all of that speed on the table, why is Bolt's 9.58 still standing? Stick around, because the answer is a lot more interesting than nobody is fast enough. Here's the thing most people get wrong about this topic. They assume that if nobody has broken the world record in almost 2 decades, then nobody is close, that the current generation just isn't good enough. And that's actually the opposite of the truth. 25 years ago, running around 9.80 was enough to be the best sprinter alive. Back then, only about 7 to 9 men in the entire world could break 10 seconds in a full season. That's it. From 2000 to 2002, Maurice Greene basically owned the event, backed by an Olympic gold medal and a world record of his own. Then in 2008, Usain Bolt showed up and broke the world record 3 separate times in a single year, eventually stopping the clock at 9.58 seconds. And he didn't just break a record, he broke everyone's belief in what a human body could do. After that, the sport exploded. By 2011, 20 sprinters were breaking 10 seconds in one season. By 2015, that number hit 27. And after 2020, it just kept climbing: 24, then 30, then 39, then 35, then 38 sprinters in 2025 alone. That is roughly triple what it was in the early 2000s. So here's the paradox we're about to unpack. More elite sprinters than ever before, and still, that one number 9.58 refuses to move. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why and who might be the one to finally take it down. So let's get into it. Let's start with just how stacked this era really is. At the 2024 Paris Olympics, Noah Lyles won the 100-meter final in 9.79 seconds, beating Keshawn Thompson by just 0.05 seconds. That is the closest finish for an Olympic 100-meter gold medal in more than 40 years. And here's the part that really shows the depth. Every single sprinter in that final broke 10 seconds, including the man who finished last. That has never happened before in Olympic history. Then, a year later at the World Championships, the men's 200-meter field was so loaded that running 19.65 seconds wasn't even good enough to win a medal. 20 years ago, a time like that would have won gold with room to spare. So when we say this is the deepest era in sprinting history, we're not exaggerating. We're just getting started. Take Jordan Anthony. This kid is one of the most exciting sprinters on the planet right now. He won the world indoor title in the 60 meters with a blazing 6.41 seconds, tied for one of the fastest times ever run at that distance, and he beat Olympic silver medalist Keshawn Thompson to do it. Here's the crazy part. That performance came just months after Anthony walked away from college football to focus entirely on track. He's already broken 10 seconds in the 100 meters 4 separate times this season, but his fastest time all year is still a 9.91 from his very first race of the season back in Gainesville. In other words, he hasn't even had his best race yet. And that's exactly the point we're building toward. Now compare Jordan Anthony's season to Usain Bolt's in 2008. That year, Bolt broke the world record in New York with a 9.72. Then he stunned the entire world at the Beijing Olympics with a 9.69. And just 20 days after that, in one of the most underrated races of his career, he ran a 9.77 at a Diamond League meet in Brussels, while running directly into a headwind of negative 1.3 meters per second. Adjust for that wind, and it was almost the same level of effort as his Olympic gold medal run. Bolt didn't just get lucky once. He knew exactly how to peak at the right moment, over and over again at the biggest stages in the sport. And here's a detail people forget: Bolt never competed in the indoor season. He saved his body and his speed exclusively for the moments that mattered most. Today's sprinters don't get that luxury. The modern calendar expects athletes to compete indoors and outdoors, from January all the way into the fall. That extra racing builds confidence and sharpens starting speed, but it also wears athletes down right when it matters most. That's a massive part of why, even with more sprinters running fast than ever, nobody has gotten close to Bolt's record. Now let's talk about wind, because this is where things get really interesting. Back in July, Italy's Marcell Jacobs ran a 9.67 at a meet in Eisenstadt, Austria, with a tailwind of positive 4.1 meters per second, more than double the legal limit. So it doesn't count as an official record. But that time is still the third fastest 100 meters ever run under any conditions in history. Only Bolt has ever gone faster. And Jacobs ran that time beating a field that included 400-meter world record holder Wade van Niekerk. Now, a lot of people online brush this off, saying big tailwinds make anyone look fast. But here's something most people don't know. Back in 2008, Tyson Gay ran a 9.68 at the U.S. Olympic trials with that exact same wind reading positive 4.1 meters per second. That result was also wiped from the books. But the very next year, in fully legal conditions, Gay ran a 9.71 American record at the World Championships in Berlin. Then, just weeks later, he ran an even faster 9.69, completely legal, at a Diamond League meet in Shanghai. So a fast wind-aided time isn't just noise. History shows it can be an early warning sign that a real breakthrough is coming. Does that mean Jacobs is about to run a legal 9.69 this year? Probably not quite that fast. But he's clearly building towards something big and chasing his own European record of 9.80. Given how sharp his form looks right now, breaking it would not be a surprise at all. Jacobs isn't the only name to watch. American Kenny Bednarek ran a wind-aided 9.72 at the LA Grand Prix, beating a field that included four-time world champion Christian Coleman. Bednarek said afterward that he believes he has legal 9.7 speed sitting in his legs right now. And Nigeria's Kayinsola Ajayi, a rising star who broke his own country's national record earlier this season, ran a wind-aided 9.72 at the NCAA Championships in Eugene. He then backed that up by beating reigning world champion Seville twice in a row, once at the Prefontaine Classic and again at the London Diamond League, both times completely legal, both times in 9.84 seconds. So what does all of this tell us? It's not that today's sprinters are somehow more talented than Bolt or Gay or Maurice Green. It's that there are far more of them competing at an elite level, all at the exact same time. A rising tide lifts every boat, and right now, that tide is higher than it has ever been. Here's the real truth behind why 9.58 still stands. So here's the question we'll leave you with this much depth, and this many sprinters knocking on the door. Who do you think finally breaks through first? Jordan Anthony? Marcell Jacobs? Kenny Bednarek? Kayinsola Ajayi? Or somebody nobody's even talking about yet? Drop your pick in the comments below. And if you enjoyed breaking down the numbers behind this era with us, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the sport's biggest stories.